In the past, I did a video about currency indexes, or also known as currency futures. I've decided to do a part 2 on that because it helped a lot of people to get a feeling, get a view of the overall market. To start off right away, this is the most known, most famous index, and it's of course the US dollar index. I did a video on that one this last week, specific on the US dollar index. So let me go to the weekly chart. I won't go into that in too much detail in this video, not to duplicate or to tell you guys the same thing, but you know, overall, what I want to know when I'm looking at an index or a future from a specific currency, in this case the dollar index, I look at it like this. This was a huge trending phase where the dollar got weaker, weaker and weaker. If we go even further, this was of course a huge trending phase again, where the dollar was very, very strong. And right now we are in some kind of, I would say, a consolidation over the last 2 years or year and a half, or let's say this is a year. We've been moving in this range. We've been slightly moving from 94 up to 100, so it's not really trending. We're not falling like 104 back to 88 like in the past. Right now the dollar is not moving that much. That being said, we know that the dollar isn't really in the trending phase, so there's not a lot happening in the dollar. Keep that in mind for later on in the video, because if not a lot is happening in the dollar, you can imagine what is happening in the dollar related pairs. But there's also another side to the dollar related pairs, and that's where I will go now. For example, we have the euro futures. It's kind of the same thing as the dollar index. This shows us the euro on itself. So it's kind of the same pattern we're seeing, but then reversed. So the slightly upward going dollar and the slightly downward going euro is both in a range, both not really very trending like this phase in the past. That being said, so if you're trading the euro dollar, expect an overall weaker dollar and an overall more strong dollar. And did I say dollar or euro? A weaker euro. So that is what we see. We see that the euro dollar is in fact in a downtrend. So if we see quite the opposite move, dollar is getting a bit, but it's getting stronger. The euro is getting weaker. Not very fast, not too big of a move, but but in fact we are seeing that in the euro dollar. So if we move on and we go to the British pound, British pound was in a trending phase over here, and then we started to get in a trending phase again. We had some consolidation. We actually had a pretty trending phase to the downside when it comes to the British pound and the US dollar. So let's switch for a minute to the Forex pair, the currency pair, Great British Pound. Alright, let me get that on the chart for now. Where is it? Yes, here it is. So this is the weekly chart. We in fact are seeing that we had a huge downtrend, we had a huge correction, and now this year we are in we had some consolidation. This is actually quite similar to what we're seeing on the indexes or on the futures. We had a leg down, we had consolidation, and now we're having a leg down again. And right now we are actually at this double bottom, maybe triple bottom pattern, where we are making a bounce, and we are right now breaking out of this descending phase where we are making new highs. So I think I pointed out yesterday on my, or last, was it Saturday, on my technical analysis, my weekly analysis. This to me, I'll be waiting for a pullback. As you can see, we are running into this previous support area, quite an aggressive move back up. So let's see how price will react once we are we're right at it now. So let's see what happens on the next trading week. Yes, so by the time this video gets uploaded, I think the week has started. So check out what happened over here by then. I would wait for a pullback to actually get into this to the upside. Interesting setup, but just to show you guys that going back to the indexes, the British pound is in fact showing quite a similar pattern. We know that the dollar isn't moving a lot, so this area got broken. We are starting, maybe this is the beginning of a nice phase, like an uptrending phase like we've seen in the past. So I hope you get my point. A dollar that doesn't move a lot, and now we have a strong, a weaker pound, and now we are maybe seeing a pound that's regaining some strength again. So it's the pound in the pair that is the mover for now. If we go back to the dollar index, if this pattern breaks, and maybe if the bigger picture breaks, then we will of course sooner or later this will break out of this channel and move in a certain direction. For example, if it does break to the downside, we will see a lot of movement in the dollar related pairs. So let's skip through another one. This is the Swiss franc. It's pretty neutral. This is the weekly chart. It's very neutral. So it quite depends on the other one in the pair. So for example, the British pound Swiss franc is a currency pair, a forex pair. So if you are into that kind of a setup, let me see. Price doesn't move a lot. This is actually range bound most of the time. So depending on your strategy, the Swiss pound can be something to avoid or something to you know, specifically get into your trading. I like to trade the Swiss pound. It's the less volatile of a lot of currency pairs. So at the moment we are in the middle of this zone. So let's imagine if this one pulls back to the to the lower side of this channel, then we could see quite a spike back up. So in that case, you know, the Swiss franc will be trending for a while. Now it's quite neutral. So let's go to the forex pair, where we see that the pound is now actually starting a trending phase, and where the Swiss franc is pretty neutral. So what is happening here? We are seeing quite a similar thing. Don't forget, this is the weekly chart we're watching at all the time. So we ran into this level. I think it's just like the dollar. So I'm expecting some pullbacks in the near future. But let's go to the daily chart. We have seen this decline. Well, keep in mind the pound was neutral. The Swiss franc was neutral, and the pound was the trending currency. So we see this movement. If for example both currencies got weaker, then we will see a consolidation on the actual currency pair. So I am actually trading this also. So I will be waiting for a pullback back into this trend line. Probably this is a area of resistance support to me. So once we are at this level, I am looking to maybe add some positions and ride this one further to the upside. If it breaks this level, could be interesting to have a nice move further on. But let's go back to the futures. We're not into the forex specifically right now. So we got the Japanese yen. Yes, that's this one. Also kind of, you know, it's overall trending a little bit to the upside. Right now we see a huge correction over the last 3 weeks, but this is kind of range bound. So it's to me, I'm not really a Japanese yen fan for some reason. I don't know what it is, but it's not my favorite kind of setups with these currencies. Maybe it's because I'm from Europe and I'm not really into the trades where it's actually happening. I'm asleep at that time. So you know, for now I would be bearish on the Japanese yen. Let's see how long this correction plays out. Doesn't matter how long it play out, because if it's getting weaker, the currency pairs related to the yen will go up or down depending on if it's the first or the second currency. So, you know, we know this one is getting weaker. We know the British pound is getting stronger. So definitely interesting to check those two out to see if there is a huge trending phase, maybe just beginning. Australia, of course, it's very weak. It's been in a downtrend for quite a long time. You know, what can I say? It's now it's pulling back into this trend line. Maybe getting ready for another sell-off, or maybe it's time. Maybe it's time to finally break a level and start getting back up. It's very low, so could be the beginning of a trending phase back up. Doesn't matter for now. You know, these are the weekly charts. So this has been getting weaker for a year and a half now. You know, just wait and see if the dollar of the Australian dollar gets. For now, it's a weak currency. So if you put this one out to the US dollar, you see the same kind of pattern as you see at the euro dollar. It's going down, you know. And let's switch over to the New Zealand dollar, because it's the same thing. It's been overall, we have this leg, some correction, consolidation, and then two legs lower. So also the New Zealand dollar isn't that strong. So let's see what happens when you look at the British pound. It's getting stronger now, and for now it looks like we are not able to retest or break this zone. So the retest is in, so further declines are highly likely for this one. And the last but not least, I have the Canadian dollar. You know, it's kind of like the Swiss franc to me. It's stuck here. It's not a lot is happening. So it's not really you know, like the Australian dollar it's trending very aggressive to the downside. New Zealand dollar is very bearish. The pound was very bearish. I think also with all the Brexit fundamentals, and right now it looks like it's breaking finally, and maybe we will see some recovery on the British pound. Again, you can use these things, of course. Pick a bullish and a bearish currency. Go to the charts to find some interesting setups. Once you're on the chart, it's your trading plans, your trading strategy. You have to manage your risk. You have to make decisions on what time frames you want to get in and get out, and how long you want to run your trades. I think you all know by now that I am looking to, for example, something I got on my watch list last week, and I put on some trades, is the New Zealand dollar, Canadian dollar. We are in this overall channel with some supply and demand zones where we have been trading in. We are now at this bottom where price skyrocketed earlier. We see another reaction right now. I don't know if it's the right time right now. Maybe we'll see another pullback first, but I'm entering this trade and I am looking to let it run for as long as possible. Preferably into this zone. If it moves any further into this zone, and if it turns around maybe over here, we'll get out with a break even or a little small profit, or over here. I'm into collecting. I always say collecting setups like these. So if this one opens now, we are in the middle of September, and if I can close this one out in December, I'm happy, because I had a huge run and I have a huge profit. In the meantime, I look further for more setups like these. Well, I just pointed out that this one could be an interesting one. If we see a pullback and a break of this level, this has also the potential to, if we re-enter over here, maybe we'll head back into these highs. If this happens and we are looking at another one that's gonna close out in November, for example, great. You know, let it run. I'm looking to build my portfolio, and I just open a trade with potential and I let it run as long as I can. So sometimes I have like 10 positions, sometimes I have 3, sometimes, you know, doesn't matter as long as there is potential to a certain trade. Okay, so that's it for now. I hope you are able to find, of course, your your future contract when it comes to the Euro futures, everything's in trading view. So get them on your charts, play around a little bit, and get a feeling of the weaker and the lesser or the stronger currency pairs on this one. Interesting to maybe make a list. The red ones are going down, the blue ones or the black ones are range bound, so they're not trending, and the green ones are going up, and then start to shift around a little bit to find the green ones and put them against the red ones, so you know for sure that trending phases are coming or are already going on. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.